Happy Monday, everyone, and welcome back to the Pageant Sit Down. My name's Regina Lena, and I'm your host, and I am so excited for all of you pageant fans to be here today because let's be real, we're all recovering from our Super Bowl last night, which was Miss Universe 2020. First off, congratulations to Miss Universe Canada Nova. She did amazing. Of course, I can't forget Philippines. Rabia did amazing as well. And of course, congratulations to Miss Mexico. But that's not the reason why we're here. We're not going to be talking about Miss Universe all day. I have an amazing guest with you. She's been an avid viewer of the show, and she's one of my close friends. I am so excited to introduce all of you to Miss Galaxy London 2020-21, Katie Marnoch. Hi, Katie.
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm well. Thanks for joining me today. So your last name seems familiar, and I know everyone's going to be asking. So, Katie, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, of course. So my name is Katie Marnoch. I'm Miss Galaxy London for 2020 and 2021. I was also Miss Galaxy London for 2019. This is my second time competing in Galaxy. I'm really, really excited about it. And I've had so much fun with my title over the past year and a bit throughout quarantine, and it's been something really fun for me. So I'm really excited to kind of talk about all the things that I've been up to and all the things I have planned ahead. And I think it's going to be a really fun night. So thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for joining me. Okay, Marnoch. I know I've been asked by many people, is Katie Marnoch related to Elizabeth? Are you?
Yes, to a stop to all the wondering. Yeah, Elizabeth and I are sisters. I think that's like kind of a sort of known fact among Galaxy. Some people know, some people don't. So Elizabeth and I are sisters. Elizabeth did pageants for much longer before I got into it, and so I would follow her around to, all of her competitions and carry the wardrobe and steam the wardrobe. And then last year or a year and a half ago, I decided to try it for myself.
Amazing. And I'm so glad that you did because you absolutely killed it. You were top 5 in your first national pageant. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it was really fun.
I'm so excited for you to now be doing it once again. Actually, Elizabeth is in the chats and she says #confirmed. So yes, it is confirmed that they are sisters for those who are curious. I know the monarchy is huge, so I'm sure they're all tuning in as well. So hello to the monarchy. I know you were competing with Team Canada, but I love you also, so hello. So Kate, yes, I almost called you Elizabeth. Oh my goodness.
It's okay.
Stop reading the comments. No, I'm not going to do that. So Katie, this is your second time going to Galaxy. Well, technically your third since you were in the audience the first time. What is it about Galaxy, first and foremost, that made you want to compete?
Yeah, so I think when I attended the pageant in April of 2019, when my sister competed, it was just a really, really special energy being around there. I was there for the entire weekend of the competition as well as the finals night. And it was just, there was so much excitement in the hotel all weekend, and my sister and I had been looking forward to it for so long. And we got to experience it. I watched the show, and I was just so inspired to try it out for myself. When I was younger, people maybe wouldn't have guessed this who know me from now that I'm a little bit older, but when I was younger, I was always on stage. I did musical theater, I did dance, I was in very briefly vocals, all kinds of stuff. So it was really, really fun to kind of get back in touch with that side of myself. And it really kind of awoke in that spirit that I had for being on stage when I attended. And so, it was really fun to be able to be back on stage last year.
That's amazing. Well, I didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
So you were a theater bug. That's awesome. Okay, so you were a theater bug. I learned that about you. I learned something about Elizabeth, that she was in fencing. So what is it about the Monarch girls or sisters that you both are just very, what's the word that I'm looking for, adventurous when it comes to your curricular activities?
Yeah, I think Elizabeth definitely kind of leads the charge on that. We've gone out there with different activities and stuff, but I do tend to be a little bit more of the introverted sister, but like I said, when I was younger, that was definitely something that was so much fun for me that I was always doing. And, when you become a teenager, you kind of like change your interests a bit and things are different. And so it's really, really cool to be able to get back in touch with that side of myself that is a little bit more adventurous and outgoing through Galaxy. And I'm really, really grateful that it's given me that opportunity.
That's awesome. Okay, so first of all, you said you're an introvert. You're a theater kid. How are you an introvert if you enjoyed being on stage? I don't get it. But that's a conversation for another day. So what was it like for you then? You've watched your sister compete for pageants for many years and you saw her do her thing. What was it that made you say, you know what? This is my time. I want to be on the stage now. Move over, Elizabeth. It's my turn.
Yeah, so I think one of the big things that was different about Galaxy was a lot of the pageants that my sister had competed in for the many years before she started in Galaxy was that a lot of them were international competitions, or they were in the US. So it was a very, very involved process to get everything together and even just get to the venue to compete. And so for me, as someone who hadn't experienced it before, it seemed like a very involved process for me to do something that I was kind of on the fence about. But when Canada Galaxy was an opportunity for me, and I saw that you could kind of have that same production and fun stage time with a location that was a little bit more convenient for me and something that was a lot more accessible for me living in London. It's just a couple hours from Toronto. It made it really, really easy and feasible for me to be able to try it. And I think a lot of people from Galaxy feel the same way. There's a lot of people who are in their first time or their first couple pageants. And it's really, really lovely that there's a system in Canada now that is so accessible for people who are just kind of trying to dip their toes into pageantry. And yeah, I'm really excited and really happy to be part of it.
Awesome. So you dipped your toe in it and caught the pageant bug, and now here you are, second time around. That's so exciting. So, you've been to many pageants, you've assisted at so many pageants, but now that you've been on stage, what is it about pageantry that made you want to come back?
I think one of the things about pageantry that is kind of addictive, I guess you could say, is that it really forces you to set a very time-specific goal for yourself about things that you want to accomplish. And I think that that's a really good thing, especially for me. I think that's just a really good habit to grow into, is having something to look forward to and having something that you're working towards. It's really helped me to kind of develop and also try new things, start new projects on my own that aren't really for anything but for myself to enjoy along with the other people who I include. And I've gotten to do a couple of those things over COVID times. And yeah, I think that that's been really fun and a really great reason to stay involved in a pageant that's kind of more long-term, is having those goals that you set and you don't want to stop.
That's amazing. And Galaxy is an international title, and you have the title of Miss Galaxy London. Do people get confused with London, England versus London, Ontario?
Yeah, not necessarily when I'm wearing the Miss Galaxy London sash, because usually I'm local and people kind of get the hint. But it's actually really funny. Here in London, Ontario, we have a lot of landmarks that are named after the same landmarks that exist in London, England. So we have like the Thames River, we have the Covent Garden Market, we have different parks that share names with places in London. So sometimes I think that London wants with the UK London, but yeah, it's definitely different.
Just curious, because I feel like I would get confused, especially like you said on social media. It's like, wait a minute, I thought I was Miss Galaxy London. You took someone's handle. That's hilarious. I just realized that. No, but it's great, that you were able to experience it after being a fan and an assistant to your sister for so long, as you like to call it. What is it that you've decided, you're competing again? Have you looked at what you could work on from last year? Because you were in the top 5, right?
So top 5, yeah.
How are you going into it mentally? Going into it for the second year round, being in the top. What's going on, Kate?
Yeah, so I think last year, a lot of the experiences that I did with my title, I would show up to an event or another pageant, and that was super fun, and I had a lot of fun doing that, and I got to meet a lot of people, which was great for my first pageant. But not only did I want to challenge myself a bit more, but also we're a lot more limited, obviously, because of the pandemic. So there aren't events that you can even events that you can kind of reach out to people and try to help with, because it's usually just from your house if there's any kind of event at all. So this year I've really worked on creating my own kind of initiatives, and that's been really fun. It's been really rewarding, and that's something different that I've been able to do, and it's really been a great opportunity to actually connect with other delegates, which has been one of the most fun experiences so far of being involved. And then also, as far as other aspects of the competition, I'm really excited because I've had the chance to take a lot more time figuring out what I want to wear on stage. Last year it was obviously a bit of a tighter turnaround. It was about 4 months I had to prepare, so it was pretty quick to kind of get everything together. And then obviously this time around, there's been a lot more time, so I've been able to be a little bit more selective and taking really good everything I want to wear and the way I want to look, which is, I think, part of obviously the entire package. And yeah, that's been really fun, and I think it's going to show as a really strong improvement when I get back on stage in August.
That's so exciting. I'm really excited for you to be coming back. I love seeing returning queens and just to see your journey go from the first pageant to the second, and just to see how much you've grown. Speaking of Galaxy, we have Sarah in the group. She says, "Hi there, ladies."
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Sarah's doing some amazing work too, so props to her.
She is. She is. I actually had the opportunity to do a one-on-one with her, and the minute she got onto the webcam, I was like, "Whoa, hello!"
Yeah.
She looked amazing.
She's ready to go.
She is. She is. So, have you found that the team this year? Because I know the Miss Division, they all have their own Snapchat group. How has it been bonding or getting to know the new candidates for this year?
Yeah, we've had a lot of time to bond now at this point. We have Facebook groups, we have Snapchat groups, and we talk all the time. We were on a little group chat over Miss Universe last night, and yeah, it's been really lovely to be able to get to know them a little bit better over, I guess it's been about a year or so now since we've kind of really had official group chats together and have been talking, and people have kind of slowly been trickling in as they join the system. And yeah, it's been really fun, and I think it makes the experience of being there just so much richer and so much more fun when it feels like you're kind of reuniting with old friends rather than meeting people for the first time. So I'm really excited to meet them in person. There are a few returners, but most of them I've never met in person, so I'm really excited.
There's over, 40 of you in one?
Yes, yeah.
That's insane. That's
Big.
so many. I feel like it's going to keep growing. I feel like there's still a month ahead until the deadline. So,
yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll grow even bigger.
That's crazy. So now that you've been on stage, you've done interview, swimwear, fashion, evening gown. What segment are you looking the most forward to?
I think I'm probably looking forward to most is evening gown. I think because I've actually picked my evening gown. I love my evening gown. And I also, last time around, I don't think I did as well on stage as I could have done. I didn't have quite as much training. And so I'm really excited to get back out there and really show what I can really do. And so I think that'll be a really great show of improvement. And I'm really looking forward to giving it another try. But I also love interviews, so that's always fun too.
Oh my goodness. I cannot wait to see you in evening gown. You sent me a little sneak peek, and I think you are going to look amazing on stage.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
You're so welcome. I mean, you mentioned Miss Universe. Let's talk Miss Universe. Yeah. What was your final thoughts on the entire competition?
I think like a lot of people, it didn't necessarily pan out how I expected it to pan out. But then again, when I think about it, not many pageants pan out the way that I expect them to pan out anyways, of the ones that I've been to. So in that sense, it wasn't surprising. But yeah, I think that it was a really good competition, and it was really, I mean, Miss Universe is always really exciting to watch. So I had a great time, and now once we finally got the live stream together, obviously, because she struggles with that. But yeah, I had a really fun time watching, and of course we were rooting for Nova, and she did amazing. And a bunch of other girls were just amazing. They did a really great job, and congratulations to Mexico.
I loved Mexico. I don't care what people are saying. I mean, the minute I saw her on preliminaries in swimwear, I was like, wow. Like, I could not stop thinking. I was like, wow, she, like, her aura, you could, like, it hits you through YouTube. You're like, wow, this girl's a contender. And then Peru walked on, and I also understand why people are a little confused to what may have happened. But Peru was also stunning. They were all so good.
Yeah.
I do wish Nova did go a little bit further, but I mean, she had her moment with her family, so good for Nova.
We're all rooting for her, so.
Yes. Oh, here we go. Elizabeth says, I loved Mexico too.
Yeah.
That preliminary gown, OMG. Yes.
Yes, Elizabeth was a big fan of Mexico right from the beginning, so I guess her picker's doing something right.
Her picker?
Her picker, yeah. I don't know.
Anyways, so there is a question from Instagram that I do want to ask you. Let me just open it up. Of course, it closed right before we go on. So the question from Instagram is, who is your pageant inspiration?
Well, I have an idea of who might be interested in hearing about my pageant inspiration. I would say, I have to say my sister. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that I wouldn't be in this position and kind of have an understanding of pageants or even know the first thing about what I was doing without her help and her guidance. So definitely my sister. Yeah, it's been a really fun experience for us to do it together, whether I'm watching her and helping her or she's helping me. We've had so much fun with that, and yeah.
Well, she is the one that asked the questions. So.
Yeah. I figured.
Yes. Well, for all those who are watching, I know there's a few of you here. If you have any questions for Katie, make sure to leave them in the live chat, and I will definitely ask her for you. Katie, you mentioned your sister, and I know we talked a lot about her. Sorry, Liz, this isn't the Liz show, but I just love seeing the two of you together. Right before we went on air, you're like, how does my hair look? And here's Elizabeth all in your face trying to fix your hair. And it's just, sometimes when I see the two of you together, I'm like, man, I wish I had a sister. But then I realize I'm glad I don't have a sister too, all at the same time. But it's just so amazing to see your dynamic together. And I love that she is a pageant inspiration to you, because she is a pageant inspiration to many people.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, she's doing a really amazing job. She has her delegate coordinator role with Canada Galaxy this year, which is so exciting for her. She's interested in that aspect of pageantry, not just being on stage, but also being able to create that experience for people. And she's had such a great time getting to know every single delegate who messages her with questions, and she loves helping everyone out. And yeah, it's really exciting that we kind of get to be a part of it together, because obviously last year she was a form of it. She wasn't quite as involved in preparing for the pageant the way I was. So now she's kind of involved with that process with me, which is super fun. And it's also helpful when I can just call down to her if I have a question.
Well, she just said it's always the Liz show.
It really
well, if that's the case, bring on Live with Liz again and we'll see. No, I'm just kidding. That's awesome. But okay, Scott Monarch, sorry. Oh my God, you think I could say your last name wrong. So Scott says, outside of pageants, who is your role model? Oh no, another relative asking you a question.
Who is my role model? Well, my sister's going to roll her eyes at this answer, but I am a massive Mariah Carey fan. I don't know if people know this about me. I'm a huge Lamb. And yeah, so I have followed her, and I'm so inspired by her dedication to her craft, her talent. She's an incredible singer, incredible songwriter, and I love her music, and I listen to it at any time, in the happiest times of my life, the saddest times of my life. Feels like she's been there with me the whole time. And so, yes, she's probably my greatest inspiration in terms of a non-pageant celebrity. Also, shout out, I
Amazing.
have to say, shout out to Scott Marnoch, because I don't know if you know this, but he is the one who coined the phrase the Marnochy many,
Ah.
many years ago, when Elizabeth was doing little pageants in malls.
Oh, love that. That's so cool. Well, I remember seeing the T-shirts and I was like, "Oh, Team Regine's got some competition. Thank
Yes.
God we're not in the same division."
Yeah. Yeah, Elizabeth and I made the shirts, but yes, the Marnochy is all Scott, so thanks to
I
him.
love that. Scott says, "Gotta love Scott Marnoch," and he says, hashtag support the monarchy 2021. He's changing it up.
Yeah,
There you go. Got to get that on a shirt.
yes.
Anne Alpa is here. She gives you her love. There's a lot of people on here. So, again, for all of you who are watching, if you have a question for Katie, leave them in the comments below. And make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying it. Katie, there's something about you and I that not a lot of people know. Well, even your sister knows this, but we have the same amount of love for Drag Race and drag queens. Okay, they're asking you who's your inspiration in pageants, who is your inspiration in life, or your role model. Who is your favorite drag queen?
My favorite drag race queen is probably Bob the Drag Queen. She just makes me laugh all the time, and I love her recaps of Drag Race, so that's probably my favorite. But I love so many of them. They're all amazing.
I love that. Yeah, I feel like our conversations are all just gifts of Drag Race moments.
Yeah. We were talking about our mutual love of Brooklyn Heights as well, who's obviously Canadian. So we love her too.
We do. So going back to, Anne says yes, Drag Race. Yeah. Yep, we got some Drag Race fans here.
So she had a great interview the other week, and I watched it, and she did an amazing job. So shout out to Anne. Hi.
I love that. So another question from Instagram is, so you are fairly new to pageants. What would you say is your pageant platform?
So I would say that my pageant platform is supporting women pursuing media. So one of the things that when I started, I'm actually just finished my undergraduate degree this spring, but when I started, I was interested in pursuing journalism, but I also had a lot of pressure on me because I had done well academically in high school, and I felt like I had to pursue something like international relations and journalism as a type of career path, when really what my passion is entertainment and pop culture, and that's what I want to write. That's what I love talking about. So when I started university, I was in international relations, and I liked it. It is something that I'm definitely interested in, but it wasn't my true passion. And so I've now finished my degree. I finished my degree in media studies, and I've had so many opportunities to write about all kinds of fun things, from drag race to different pop stars that I love, to all kinds of aspects of media and pop culture. And I think I just want to be a representation that you can do really, really amazing things while still doing things that are fun and things that are meant to be just fun and happy. I think that's also a really pageantry as well. It's something that's fun. You get to be glamorous, you get to walk around on stage, but it can also still mean a lot. It can be really important, and it can be something that is really life-changing when you're able to make really great connections with other people, and you're able to build a platform, you're able to do volunteer work, and I think that there's really interesting kind of parallels between those two things.
Amazing. Well, you mentioned connecting to people, and it looks like Scott has a question for you. He says, if you were to play Snatch Game on Drag Race, who would you play?
Oh my goodness. Hard question. I think
I didn't ask the question. I just read it.
Maybe I'll have to revert back to my inspiration question. I think Mariah would be a great Snatch Game character. She's kind of blasé, a little bit, aloof, but still very fun, very much in on the joke, which I love. And I think that would be a kind of a fun character. And I think it's probably the person who I know their mannerisms the best. So I'd say Mariah.
Can I see a sample?
Oh my gosh.
I'm just kidding. I'm
kidding. Like some sunglasses,
There you go. I mean, if you people want to see it, get me to 200 subs and we'll get a Katie back and she'll do her snatch game.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh my gosh, she said yes. Okay, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first. Well, Katie, we're actually at the halfway point. I don't know where the time has flown by. You must be going by fast because we're having a great time. But there is a segment on the show, which is 5 tips from a beauty queen. And you've been behind the scenes of pageantry and now on the forefront. What would be your top 5 pageant tips for all of those looking to compete?
Yeah, this is a great question. So I would say that my first tip would be to bring snacks. Number 1, bring food. Always have something to eat because you will regret not having it if it's not there. Number 2 would be do as much as you can before you get to the pageant, as in not necessarily like, obviously you want to be prepared as well, but make the most of it. Don't expect the entire experience to happen over the weekend. Make the most of it as you're going up to the pageant. So obviously some girls have had almost 2 years now with their title, and they've been doing amazing work. And I think that what makes it really fun and rewarding is taking advantage of the opportunities that you get within that time when you have your local title. And that's going to make for the best relationships between other people and also just the best experience for you overall. Number 3 would be to reach out to as many fellow delegates as you possibly can. I've had so much fun chatting with every single person, and I feel like I know them in a little bit of a way, and I can't wait to be able to reconnect with them on stage, or not on stage, at the pageant. And so that would be my 3rd piece of advice. My 4th piece of advice would be to practice, practice, practice. You can't practice too much when you're talking about being on stage, walking, practice in your outfit, and it will all just come back to you, muscle memory, and you'll be able to just have fun when you're on stage, which is the most important part. And number 5 would be, what's a 5th piece of advice? I would say, here's a great one. Practice your interview. I think a lot of people think that it is kind of supposed to be just this natural conversation, which it absolutely is. But I think it's really, really important that you nail down different things that you want to talk about so that you can best represent all the hard work that you've done year or whatever period of time it's been. So you have just the best opportunity to really let the judges know who you are and what you've done and why you deserve the title in the most eloquent way you possibly can. There's 5.
Amazing. I love that. So, Katie, if people wanted to find out more about you or follow your pageant journey, where could they find you?
Yeah, so right now I have a Instagram account that's documenting kind of all my appearances and all the different things that I'm doing with Canada Galaxy. It's just at Miss Galaxy London. So if you want to keep up with that, that would be great. You can just give me a follow over there.
Amazing. So make sure you all follow her and her journey. It's just beginning. Also, going back to Snatch Game, Elizabeth said she'll play too. So
who's Elizabeth gonna play?
Yes, Elizabeth, who would you play? Let us know in the comments. And same with Scott Marnoch. You asked the question.
I also want to know who Chad was. Scott and Chad are both my uncles, so I also want to know who Chad would play as well, if Scott's playing.
Well, there you go. Make it a whole monarchy reunion.
Yes. Family Feud meets Snatch Game.
Ooh, I love that. I love Team Regine versus the monarchy.
Oh my gosh, that would be loud.
It would.
A lot of cheering in the audience.
Elizabeth says Ashley Tisdale.
Of course she said Ashley Tisdale. Elizabeth says Ashley Tisdale. I know a lot of Ashley Tisdale songs word for word at this point in my life, so fun facts.
So should I be Vanessa Hudgens and we'll just go at it? It'll become the whole thing. Oh my gosh. And then Scott could be Zac Efron. There you go. We're done. She says Scott said Chad would play Ducky from Pretty in Pink.
Nice.
There you go. I love this conversation. So there's also another question here from Instagram, and it is, What have you learned about yourself since starting pageants?
Hmm. I would say that since starting pageants, I've really had, like we mentioned before, the chance to kind of reconnect with the maybe a bit more outgoing version of myself. Like I mentioned before, if you're just tuning in, I used to be in all kinds of different onstage things. I was in school theater, I was in community theater, I was in a bunch of different kinds of dance. And as I grew older, that stopped. As you grow up, you have different interests and things change. But we also moved, so there was just it was a very different experience for me while I was going through high school. And I was kind of thought that I was done with that part of my life. But pageants have really been an outlet for me to kind of reconnect with that in a really fun way and a kind of a different way. And so I would say that, yeah, that was probably the thing that I've learned about myself, is that I'm not completely done with that part just yet.
Awesome. And so you have been surrounded by pageantry for many years, whether it be on the side of your sister or in the crowd. Is there something that you thought you knew about competing in a pageant, but when you got on stage, you realized you were completely wrong?
Yeah, I think so. I think I definitely underestimated the difficulty of really looking polished on stage, especially because I would help my sister with her walk a lot and watch her and kind of give her tips, and I was like, just do it like this, just change this little thing. But then when you have to do it yourself, you realize, okay, it's maybe not quite as easy to just, remember to have your foot this perfect angle or have your hips move this perfect way. And you really have to practice it and do it over and over again. And so not that I necessarily thought it was an easy thing to do, but it really is a challenge when you really try to do it as best you can. And so I think hopefully I've had the chance now to work on that even more since the last time I competed, and hopefully the improvement shows.
I'm sure it will. I don't know if you saw me giggling backstage, but Scott Marnoch says Scott would be Honey Boo Boo.
I can see that for sure. He has the catchphrases down.
I love that. That completely threw me off. I was listening to you, and then I read that. I was like, I don't want to laugh while she's talking.
It's okay.
No, but I think it's great because I only asked you because there are some people who see pageants and they see it one way, but for you to have been backstage, on stage, in the crowd, I wanted to get your take on that. So it's really great that you were able to see what you were telling your sister to do isn't always the easiest.
Definitely. Yeah, it's definitely a different experience for sure.
100%. So Katie, Galaxy is in a few months. Galaxy International, there was news this weekend, actually, that internationals is actually being postponed to the next summer. Therefore, there will be double the queens at Galaxy Internationals from Team Canada. How do you feel about that?
Well, I will say when I first heard the news, it was really sad for me to hear that you guys aren't going to be able to have that experience, because it's been such a long time that you guys have been working towards it. And I know that you've worked so hard and that you were so excited to finally get to go in the summer. But on the other hand, if I'm not speaking out of turn, I think it is really, really great that you're all going to be able to have the opportunity to compete all out, and it's not going to have to be covered by that kind of COVID restrictions. So I'm really, really happy that you guys are going to be able to get that experience, because I think it's absolutely what you deserve. And yeah, if I were to win and we have a double the size of a team, I would be more than happy. I'd be thrilled to have a extra supersized Team Canada.
Supersized, 100%. Cindy was saying there's actually 15 of us going next summer. Wow. So that is going to be, we might as, depending on where it is, that's like a whole tour bus right there. True. Let's go.
Maybe spend money on a tour bus. Maybe tour buses are cheaper than Ubers.
But I'm curious. It depends on where it is too, right? Like, if it's in South Texas, it's a 25-hour drive. We'll see.
Well, yeah, we'll see.
No, I was just curious because, oh, and plus Liz. Yes, Elizabeth, you will be Okay, so there's 16 of us,
Okay.
plus Cindy. So
Yeah.
it's just, okay, we get it, Liz. You're coming with us.
Yeah.
It's the Liz show. We get it. No, but I was just curious because I know for the queens, we've all discussed what would it be like for us to go with a new set of girls, but I wanted to get your take on it as well, being one of the delegates for this year. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I definitely can understand why people might expect there to be some kind of frustration there, because obviously when you win, it's your time to have that title and to represent the country. But for me, the one of the really big, most appealing parts about Galaxy has been the team aspect, and that if I were to be so fortunate as to win and to go on to internationals, that it would be that kind of family, that we would be able to have each other and experience that together. And so, yeah, for me, I would be thrilled to have a bunch of other people. Maybe that's not everyone's opinion, but for me, absolutely, I'd be so happy.
and if you were to win, this would be your second time at an international or Galaxy International pageant.
It would.
What was it like to see your sister represent Canada on this international stage?
It was so much fun. Actually, a lot of the pageants that she had done in the US, I wasn't able to attend, whether it was because of school commitments or work commitments. So I had gone to a few, but there was also a few that I had missed that were actually in Orlando or other places in the US. So being able to see that was so much fun. Obviously, supporting her there, it had been such a long journey. She signed up very, very early when Cindy first announced that the pageant was happening. So it had been a pretty long journey in terms of preparing just for nationals and then again to nationals. And I felt like I was kind of a part of that entire process. So it was really, really, really fun to have it kind of come to that ultimate moment after all that hard work had been put in. And we had such a fun time in Florida. It was also so fun to see all the other queens that I had kind of gotten to know a bit, who Elizabeth is so close with as well. And yeah, it was just such a lovely experience. And hopefully I'll be at the next one too, because that was the most recent Galaxy International. So maybe I can do 2 in a row.
That'll be amazing to have you on the team. But
Yeah.
anyone on the team would be great. But I mean, you're my guest, so I have to say it. Disclaimer: I do not pick the winner.
There's a lot of girls to pick from, so.
There's over 40 of you. I don't know how the judges are going to do it,
Yeah.
but I'm curious because you are your sister's sister. Have you ever felt the pressure, or did you even feel the pressure going into Galaxy last year, where people see your last name and they know that your sister is one of the reigning queens? Did you ever feel like, oh my goodness, I have to do better than Liz, or what was that like for you?
Yeah, I don't think I ever felt pressure that I had to exceed what my sister had done, because I don't think that there was ever that expectation that I was going to do better than her. I think people knew that, she had experience and I didn't. So I think in terms of beating out her, that wasn't necessarily a concern. I think there was maybe a concern that people thought that I was maybe in it for the wrong reasons, or that I was being perceived in a certain way because I was her sister, that I was going to get some kind of different treatment. And I never wanted people to feel like that. I never wanted people to feel like I was rubbing it in their face that she was my sister or trying to bring it up all the time. So it was kind of weird to talk about, but everyone who I've talked to has been really nice about it. And a lot of people that Elizabeth's delegate coordinator, a lot of them have already interacted with her, and I think those have mostly been positive experiences. So hopefully it's all just positive associations. And I think this time around, I'm hoping that my performance last time kind of speaks for itself, and that I can come in and do even better than that this time around.
Well, you did make it top 5 in your first nationals, so congratulations for that. And I can't wait to see what happens this year.
Yeah.
We both have a question from Scott Marnoch. He asks, what city would be both of your picks for destination next year for internationals? His pick is Honolulu, Hawaii. And I would absolutely love to go to Hawaii, so I'm with you on that one, Scott.
Yes, Hawaii would be great. Scott and Chad. Chad is from Hawaii originally. So yeah, there's a lot of the Marnochi out there. So they would definitely be supporting us. So yes, I second Honolulu.
Well, there you go.
Yes.
Stephanie Hubert is on here. She says, so excited to
Yes,
meet you.
I'm so excited to meet Steph too. Again, another Miss who's doing amazing work with fundraising. And yeah, she did an amazing interview with you too. And so yeah, I'm really excited to meet Steph as well. Hi, Steph.
Well, you mentioned fundraiser. There is still a few months away until nationals. Is there something in the works that you would like to share with us, Katie?
Yes, so I do have kind of a pageant sit down exclusive. So later this week, I'm gonna announce it officially on my Instagram. But I actually am planning to do a virtual bake sale over the summer. I've thought long and hard about different ways that I wanted to raise money for Give Kids the World, which is Canada Galaxy's charity. And I thought about all the different things that I think I'm good at or things that I have talents in. And I love baking, and I've done it for a long time. That was probably my other childhood love, along with like theater and music. And so the plan right now is to sell packages of 6 cookies of different flavors. If anyone has flavor inputs, please let me know, because I'm still narrowing that down. But yeah, 6 package of 6 cookies for $5. If people are local in London, I can deliver to them. And then if people are outside of London, I'm hoping to have pop-ups throughout Ontario throughout the summer as I very safely travel between different places, because I am planning on being in certain places, again, COVID permitted, over the summer. So if I'm in your city and you're interested in buying some cookies from me, you can let me know, and hopefully we'll be able to raise some funds for Give Kids the World.
That is amazing. Yeah. So right off the top of your head, while you're planning all of this, what are some flavors of cookies that we can expect?
So I'm thinking right now, obviously chocolate chip cookies, those are my favorite, and it's the classic. And then I'm thinking, because I personally really enjoy an oatmeal raisin cookie, but I know it's not for everyone, so that's kind of on the fence. And then also I'm thinking about doing a brownie cookie, because they're a little bit different, and I also love brownie cookies. So those are what I'm thinking right now. But again, if anyone has any input, throw it in the chat. I'm very open to suggestions. We're still kind of narrowing everything down. So
stay tuned. Yeah. I love that. I'm excited for you. I love cookies. I think it's such a great thing for you to be doing, basically a virtual pop-up cookie shop.
Yes. Yeah, it's been kind of hard to figure out how everything was going to work with the pandemic, because obviously it's really hard to be like interacting face to face with people through the pandemic, and obviously things are hopefully getting better, but there really isn't any certainty right now in terms of how things are going to go. But I think that if I can be in certain places and do things COVID safe, that I'll be able to get them out to a bunch of people all across, hopefully Ontario. So stay tuned, and hopefully it'll turn out well.
Well, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned. Make sure you follow Katie's Instagram. The link is in the description to look for the official announcement. Yes. I'm so excited. I hope that you get some cookies to Toronto, because I do enjoy a good cookie here and there. Yes. Elizabeth says Team Oatmeal Raisin. Scott is giving us quite a few ideas. We got peanut butter cookie. Okay. Yum. There's chocolate shortbread cookie. Ooh. I've never had a chocolate shortbread cookie. Stephanie says, hoping you bake some of those oatmeal cookies as delegate gifts.
Ooh. Sounds like we're getting good response on the oatmeal raisin. I might have to throw that on the menu.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. So again, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. And if you want to see the official post once everything is finalized, make sure you check out Katie's Instagram, which is instagram.com/Miss Galaxy London. Katie, I'm so excited to see what this journey of cookies take you. Yes. You'll be known as I'll say gingerbread woman, but I don't think that works out. You'll be the cake, the cookie baking beauty queen. How about that?
Sure. It's very catchy.
There you go. And I guarantee you she'll be singing a lot of Mariah Carey while she bakes those cookies, so you know they'll be great. Amazing. Well, Katie, we're in a pandemic. Mm-hmm. You competed in Galaxy in 2019, thinking you were going to compete in 2020. What have you done during the pandemic to keep yourself busy, to get yourself prepared for the pageant, and just to entertain yourself, really?
Yeah, so as far as the pageant goes, I have been doing lots of online shopping for my outfits, which has been fun and different. Again, like I said, I've had a lot more time to kind of flesh out what I want to wear and be a little bit more what I'm choosing. So that's been super fun. I've also had the opportunity to get kind of creative with some virtual appearances. So I don't know if you remember, but earlier in the year, I did a little care package that I sent out
I got
to
one.
delegate. Yeah. And so that was super fun. And it's just kind of a way for me to do something with my title that's kind of just my own initiative, and it's an opportunity to connect with other people. That's what I love most about being a part of Galaxy, is just being able to meet other people who are doing really, really amazing things. And so being able to kind of reach out to them and send them something sweet in the mail, because I personally love getting physical mail. I think it's super fun. So being able to send that out to a bunch of other delegates was really, really fun. And yeah, it was just a really great way for me to create some kind of activity to do that was meaningful to other people while we're in this lockdown right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And of course, you were doing school. Again, congratulations on your undergrad. So now that Galaxy is just a few months away, and besides the cookie baking, what are you going to be doing to get yourself ready for the national stage?
Yeah, so I think, like I mentioned before, I think working on my stage presence and my walk is probably my biggest priority right now. I'm looking at trying to maybe get some new shoes, trying to find optimal space in my house that I can like move some things around to start walking practice. And so that's kind of my priority right now. And hopefully I can make some really great improvements there. And also just continuing to reach out to people and trying to use my title as best as I can. Like we mentioned, we're doing the fundraiser. Hopefully there's going to be some fun COVID-safe things to do throughout the summer. And so I'll be at everything I can be at safely. And so hopefully I'll see some fellow Galaxy girls out on appearances or whatever it may be throughout the summer.
That's so exciting. I'm very intrigued to see how this cookie fundraiser of yours goes. I keep changing what it's called.
So we're just gonna try my best with it, and I think it could work out well. I've been told I make a pretty good cookie, so I don't think that'll be our issue. As long as I can get them to people, I think we'll work out pretty well.
I'm so excited for that. So you mentioned walking and practicing walking. Do you have a pageant coach, or do you just do it based off what you see or what you've done in the past?
Yeah, so I don't have a pageant coach. I kind of do it based off of what kind of feels natural to me. And obviously, like I've watched a lot of pageants, so I have an understanding of kind of what it's supposed to look like, and then it's my own interpretation. Obviously, Elizabeth definitely gives me some pointers here and there. But I really do think I've kind of taken my own approach to figuring out how I want to look on stage, how I want to walk on stage. And it's a journey. It's definitely a process. It's something that takes time. You really have to put effort into it. But I'm really excited to see just how far I can get by the time we get to the end of August. And I'm hoping that it'll really stand out all the hard work that I have been doing and I'm going to continue to do throughout the summer.
That's amazing. I really can't wait to see you on stage. And I think you do have that experience of seeing your sister, but also seeing other people compete in pageants to really know who you are and know what you want to look like, how you want to look. So yeah. I cannot wait to see how that turns out. Again, I'm so excited to see you doing your thing, being back on stage and really rocking it.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited too.
Amazing. So when it comes to your outfits, where do you gain inspiration from? Is it Drag Race? Is it drag queens? Is it Mariah Carey? Is it your sister? Where do you get all of these inspirations from?
Yeah, so I think Elizabeth was definitely the one who kind of introduced me to pageant gowns. And actually when my sister she did a pageant in Columbus, Ohio, where the store Henry's Cloud9 is, which is kind of one of the big pageant dress stores. We got to go there, and she got to try some when she competed there the day after. And you go there and you see all these like beautiful dresses in person, and it just like changes how you think about dresses. And you're like, all of a sudden, this huge like dress snob. You're like, oh, the fabric isn't this, the whatever. And so, yeah, I think I've gotten kind of a bit more of a knack in terms of figuring out like what fabrics I like and what silhouettes I like. And yeah, so this year I have my dress is kind of a little bit more of a unique color, which I'm really, really excited about. And yeah, I think also other things like Drag Race, Mariah, because like I love pop culture, so obviously fashion's a huge part of that. And so I'm always kind of looking at those things, but also I think that the things that I like are pretty classic. So I definitely keep up with those, but I think I have a good idea of what looks good on me, and I try to stick to that because I think that's what's most important.
Amazing. Victoria Silva from Portugal is on here. Lady, isn't it late there? Good evening. Hello, Victoria. She says, hi, beauties. Hello.
Hello.
It's so amazing to see all of these Galaxy girls here tuned in. So Katie, before we actually start to wrap things up, I just looked at the time. So before we start to wrap things up, is there anything that you would like to say to those who are watching today?
Yeah, I just want to say to everyone who tuned in from Canada Galaxy or otherwise, just thanks so much for being here and supporting me. I've had so much fun, especially with the Canada Galaxy girls who are on or who popped in. It's been so much fun getting to know every single person, and I'm so glad that we're in this community where we support each other and go on each other's lives and ask each other questions. And I've had so much fun with that experience, and I'm so glad that we kind of get to be all in this community together. So thank you so much for being here.
Amazing. And Katie, thank you so much for being here. It's just so great, like I said, to see you go from backstage in 2019 or on the sidelines of 2019 to seeing you, or 2018, and then seeing you on stage at the 2020 pageant to now seeing you continue this journey. I cannot wait to see where it takes you. I'm sure Team Monarchy is cheering for you just as loud as they were for your sisters. So I cannot wait to hear all of them at nationals, hopefully COVID permitted, to see them and hear all of them in the audience. So Katie, the next couple of months is going to be really busy for you with the cookie draw or the cookie fundraiser and preparing for Galaxy. What else are you looking most forward to after lockdown?
Well, I would say after lockdown, I'm really looking forward to traveling, not even necessarily abroad or anything, but I have a lot of really close friends who do live in different cities. So being able to meet up with them in person is going to be really, really fun. We haven't been able to spend time together for a long time now because the lockdown has been on and off for a long time. And so yeah, that's probably what I'm most looking forward to, is just being able to spend time with people in person who aren't super close. And I can't wait for that. I'm sure it will be a very rejuvenating experience to kind of get back with them, and it'll be kind of great inspiration and motivation for getting back to pageant land in August.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So a last comment for the evening is, actually there's two of them that go hand in hand. Hashtag support the monarchy 2021 and 2022.
Yeah.
But then it switched over to hashtag support the monarchy ... forever ?
You know what? Even if I don't, Elizabeth will be in it forever. So I think that's probably a safe bet to say support the monarchy forever.
Well, there you go. And I'm going to leave it at that. So, Katie, thank you so much for joining us this evening. To all of you who tuned in, thank you for supporting the monarchy forever. And I hope, Katie, that you continue to do what you're doing with self-growth, stage presence, all of that fun stuff. And I'm wishing you the best of luck in August, as well as with your cookie fundraiser. I can't wait to get my hands on them and try them out, and I'm sure those who are tuned in cannot wait either. So ladies and gentlemen, make sure you follow Katie on her journey to the Canada Galaxy Crown. Her Instagram is linked down below. Katie, again, thank you so much for joining us. And to those who are here, thank you as well for being here this evening. There's a lot of pageant talk going on right now, so I'm so glad that you were able to make it. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to continue watching more episodes of Pageant Sit Down, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get notified on when we go live next on Wednesday. Again, Katie, thank you so much for being here with me tonight. It was a pleasure as always to talk to you, and I can't wait to see your journey as it grows.
Thanks so much, Regine.
You're welcome, and we'll see you all on Wednesday. Bye!